Hey guys, Saki here from SAKITECH, and in today's video we're going to be doing a comparison between the Samsung Galaxy Tab S3 and the Samsung Galaxy Tab S4. Now as you know, the Tab S3 was released in April 2017 and the Tab S4 was released in August 2018. And of course a lot of people are wondering which tablet to choose. So there's two kinds of people asking two different questions. One of them is the one that owns the Tab S3 already, and they are thinking whether or not they should upgrade to the Tab S4. And the other one is somebody that might be looking into buying an Android tablet, but they're looking at both the Tab S3 and the Tab S4 and trying to decide which one they should choose and why. And of course, in this video, we're going to do a deep dive into both of these tablets, and I'm going to answer those two questions directly. Now, first and foremost, let's take a look at the price. The Tab S3 is ranging in price from $450 to $550 based on where you buy it. For example, Amazon has it for $450, but Samsung.com has it for $550. Now the Tab S4 has a base price of $650. So the price difference is between $100 and $200. That means the S4 is $100 to $200 more expensive than the Tab S3. And of course, in this video, we're going to analyze if you do an upgrade from the S3 to the S4, what is that $100 to $200 extra is going to get you. So let's dive in and take a look at both of these tablets from every aspect. In this video, I'm going to take a look at three things. I'm going to look at what is already the same in both of these tablets. I'm going to see what is almost the same, and then I'm going to tell you what is actually new on the Tab S4. But before I dive into those details, let me talk about the specs really quick. The specs are not that important. There's been slight bumps here and there. So things like the processor have been upgraded. So you have an A35 processor on the actual S4, and on the S3 you have a Snapdragon 820 processor. The RAM is the same, so both tablets have a 4 gigabytes of RAM. And the other thing that happened was the base storage capacity on the Tab S3 is 32 gigabytes. The base storage capacity on the Tab S4 is 64 gigabytes, which is more desirable. However, remember that both of these tablets do have a micro SD expansion slot. So if you have to add more storage, you can add up to 512 gigabytes of extra storage using a micro SD card. And finally, with the specs, the battery has been bumped on the S4. So with the S4, we have 7,300 milliamp hours of battery, and on the S3, we have 6,000 milliamp hours of battery. Both tablets do have great battery life. But the Tab S4 is going to give you 1 to 2 hours of extra battery life under heavy load. So those are the basic spec differences that you should actually pay attention to. Everything else is not a big deal. Now let's dive in and look at what is exactly the same on both of these tablets, which should not be a factor in making a decision between the two products. However, you should still be informed of these facts. So the first thing that both tablets have, they have Dolby Atmos surround sound option. So if you go to the settings of any of these tablets, and if you go to sound and quality, you'll be able to enable Dolby Atmos surround sound on both of these guys. That's number one. Number two, both of these tablets have the exact same S Pen functionality. So the Tab S4 doesn't have anything new over the S3. Both of these pens allow you to write and sketch with laser precision as if you were writing on a piece of paper. Both of these S Pens are going to allow you to navigate your tablet, which is great. And of course, both of these S Pens give you the air command functionality, which again is exactly the same on both of these tablets. So as far as the S Pen is concerned, nothing has changed. Everything is the same. The only slight change with the S Pen is the shape of the S Pen. The old S Pen on the Tab S3 looks a little bit different than the new S Pen on the Tab S4. As a matter of fact, I enjoy the way the older pen looks more than the way the new pen looks. But as far as functionality is concerned, they're exactly the same on both of these tablets. So that's a very important thing to note. Exact same S Pen functionality on both tablets. If you were trying to upgrade from the S3 to the S4 because of the S Pen, it's absolutely pointless. So that's number two. Number three, we have the exact same software functionality on both of these tablets, except for one thing that I'm going to talk about in a little bit. But overall, the menu, the home screens, the navigation, the features, the software features are all identical. If you were to look at one tablet or the other tablet, in the software side, it's going to look exactly the same with the same overall features, except for that one thing that I'm going to talk about in a minute. All right, so number four, the overall design of these products is identical. When I say design, I'm actually talking about the build quality. So basically, if you look at these tablets, both of them are built with glass on the front, on the rear, and you have a metal trim surrounding the edges. So the build quality on both of these products is in fact premium, and it's identical. The design is different, but we are going to be talking about that in a minute. Now let's move on and talk about what is almost the same with both of these two tablets. So the first thing is the display quality. So the display quality on both of these tablets is almost identical. The S4 has a slightly higher resolution, which gives it more pixels per inches on the overall screen. So you do get a slightly sharper display. But if you were to look at this as a regular consumer, which 90 to 95% of us are, we're just everyday consumers, we're not scientists, you're not going to see a massive difference. In fact, you're not going to see a difference at all unless you sit down and start to analyze every single pixel. Again, the display quality is almost the same, should not be a decision maker when you're making a choice between the two. Okay, so that's basically the only thing that's almost the same. Okay, so there's a slight change. I'm not going to ignore the fact that we have a higher resolution on the S4, but the overall quality, like I said, is almost the same. So now let's move on and talk about what is actually new on the Samsung Galaxy Tab S4 that might be a consideration in an upgrade. Okay, so both tablets do have 4 stereo speakers. They sound rich, they sound high quality, but let me let you know really quickly that the Tab S4 does sound slightly better than the actual Tab S3. So if you are a multimedia hog, meaning if you watch too many movies on your tablet, you might want to consider the Tab S4. Even though both tablets are equally loud and they both sound rich, when I listen to them side by side, I can tell you that the Tab S4 in fact is slightly better in sound quality overall. The other thing that's new on the Tab S4 is the larger screen. So it's got a 10.5 inch screen. The Tab S3 has a 9.5 inch screen. If that slight increase in the real estate, almost 1 inch, is important to you for watching movies, looking at documents, browsing, reading books, then it might be another reason to consider an upgrade. Okay, so larger screen on the Tab S4 with a slightly higher quality, and that's the screen. Now here's something that is on the Tab S4, simply doesn't exist on the Tab S3. It's the built-in Samsung DeX functionality. So Samsung DeX basically is a software feature that is built into the S4 that converts your S4 into a desktop-like interface. So you're going to have a desktop, you can have a bunch of windows, just like in the Windows operating system, and you can use a keyboard and a mouse, a Bluetooth keyboard and a mouse, or a USB keyboard and a mouse to control this entire environment. And finally, with the Samsung DeX, you can project the entire thing on a separate monitor using an HDMI cable. So one side of the HDMI cable connects to your Samsung tablet, and the other end connects to the HDMI port on the TV, and then the whole thing projects itself onto the actual TV. Can be controlled with mouse and a keyboard, so it's just like a desktop PC. So if you're looking for a tablet that doubles up as a tablet and a desktop PC, the Tab S4 is the way to go. The Tab S3 does not have that option. I will also drop a link down below to my full Samsung DeX video, so you can go check it out, see all the functionality that it makes possible. So that's another way to help you make your decision. And finally, on the Tab S4, we have an iris scanner. So iris scanner is a feature of the latest Samsung Galaxy smartphones. On the Tab S3, we have a fingerprint sensor. We do not have an iris scanner. On the Tab S4, we do not have a fingerprint sensor, but we have an iris scanner for security. So that's how you log in. Now, in my opinion, having the fingerprint sensor on a tablet is more convenient. With the iris scanner, you have to kind of lift it up and look at it precisely to unlock the tablet. But again, that's up to you. The iris scanner is the newer technology. It is built into the S4. It does not exist on the Tab S3. So those are the 4 things that you're going to get on the Tab S4 that you're not going to get on the Tab S3. All right, so we have looked at everything. Now let's put it together. Again, I'm going to bring the price difference. The price difference between the Tab S3 and the Tab S4 is between $100 and $200 based on where you buy them. And then we looked at what's the same, what's almost the same, and of course we looked at what's new. And then all you have to do is to consider whether or not what is new on the Tab S4 is worth the upgrade for $100 or $200. So again, if you have a Tab S3, here's my advice. Do not upgrade because there's no need to do so. The Tab S3 has a strong processor, 4 gigs of RAM, expandable storage if you need it. It's got a fantastic S Pen with precise writing and sketching, and of course the Air Command menu. It's got a great screen, and still it's got great speakers. Even though the Tab S3 is a little bit better on that end, it still does have a great screen and great speakers. Okay, so it's all around, it's a fantastic tablet to own. If you do need a larger screen, if you do need the Samsung DeX functionality, if you prefer to have an iris scanner, the latest technology, and slightly better sounding stereo speakers, then upgrade to the S4. But that's all you're getting on the S4 as opposed to the S3. So my advice is, if you are in the market and you already own the Tab S3, do not upgrade. There's no need unless you need those 4 things. If you are in the market to buy the 2, it's a hard decision. The Tab S4 has a couple new things like the Samsung DeX that are appealing to people that want a tablet that is convertible to a desktop PC. But again, if you look at the price, if you can get the Tab S3 for $400, which is very possible, the price might be dropping even further very soon. I would get the Tab S3 and skip the Tab S4 for now. Maybe the Tab S5 is going to be a much bigger and greater upgrade as opposed to what we got with the Tab S4. The price, I think the $650 is a little bit high for this tablet when you can get the Tab S3 for $400 to $450 based on where you look at it. And of course, after a couple, maybe not a couple months, maybe 6 months or so, the prices will drop even more on the S3 and the S4. Not to mention the fact that you can get the S3 used much cheaper on eBay or something. Okay, so that's the conclusion. Do not upgrade, and if price is an issue, choose the S3 over the S4. Now, if you do have any questions, comments, or concerns, just drop them down below, and hopefully somebody or myself can answer them. Make sure to subscribe to SAKITECH for more videos to come, and of course follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook for the latest updates. Guys, have a fantastic day.